Hi, welcome to What We Thought Would Happen. I'm Laura Kightlinger.
And I'm Daniel Webb.
And we're here with an extra special, super fun, mega special guest.
Oh my God.
It's you. Y'all, it's Vanessa Gonzalez.
And we've seen her on Comedy Central. I really enjoyed that.
You were on HBO? You had an HBO spot?
I was on HBO.
Oh, great.
And you've seen her. She's been touring with Chelsea Handler for a minute.
Yeah.
Right?
We're on our 2-year anniversary.
That's so crazy.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But I met Vanessa 100 years ago in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
When I was at least starting stand-up. But you weren't. You were already.
No, I mean, I was in the sketch and improv game.
Yeah.
And then I remember looking up to you. You were just such a force.
No,
From the beginning,
I'm just
yes.
6'3". That's all. I'm so
Austin
tall.
has such a scene. You and Maggie May and Vanessa. Like, there are so many really cool, like, great people from there. Comics.
There's no industry there to like. Well, now it's different.
Now it's blowing up.
Now it's different.
Oh.
But when we started, I feel like there wasn't any outside voice to like chisel you down from being your authentic, true self.
Why, you mean, so there are more managers and things like going in there?
It's
Or
just
what?
Oh yeah, well they got the Moon Tower Comedy Festival there now,
Yeah.
and then it does feel like a lot more comics are moving there.
Oh.
And I think it feels like we're being gentrified, the comedy scene.
It looks
You know
like
what I mean?
it.
What this comedy scene needs is some white guys, and if they can talk about their kids, fun.
Exactly.
Right, yeah, so they're Christopher Columbusing us.
They're totally yes.
Oh shit!
Because I see photos of like there's other comedy clubs that have opened and stuff, and the lineups are super wide.
White,
As a white
straight.
person, that's offensive.
Yeah.
But no, I'm so excited that you're here. You were in LA, but now you live back in Austin, right?
Yeah, I lived here for 2 years. I made the big jump, and I was like, everyone made the jump. I feel like I was one of the last, or it felt like I was dragging my feet on it because it was hard. It was hard to leave Austin.
Yeah.
But then I finally did it, and then in 2020, everything shut down, and I went back home and have just stayed there.
Yeah.
I was like, it'll just be a few months, and then it just kept on going.
But you don't need it, right? You don't need to be here.
And I know who
I
does need
miss
to
it.
be here. Oh, really?
In fact, I'm leaving.
know.
I'm fucking leaving.
Well, it's funny because I'm like, I miss it. I want to go back, and everybody that's here is like, girl, you're not missing anything.
Oh, people are leaving though.
I know.
Everyone's going to New York.
Yeah.
My boyfriend just wants to go to Hawaii, and I'm
I
like,
love Hawaii.
I know, right? And my fucking lazy ass is like, so yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yeah.
Why
like,
not?
well, it's like because my foot's barely in the comedy door, so I'm like, well, I'll just slam it shut, like it never happened, and then I'll just open a grocery store.
No. Well, I feel like for me, I'm like, my foot's in the door, but I'm just like, it's just not opening. But my foot's in there. My foot's in there. And I'm like, will y'all open the door? And they're like, no one's at the door.
Yeah, you gotta.
How do I get the rest of myself in
I
the
know,
store?
Exactly.
right?
Oh man.
I'm just scratching at the back window. I gave up on the front door. Now I'm trying the back of the house.
Yeah, fuck it.
But you've been all over the place. You did just get back from. Okay, first of all, I have so many questions to ask you.
Yeah.
Because we never really talk comedy when we hang out and stuff. You just got back from a crazy trip to
Spain.
Okay.
Spain, yeah. Europe.
Europe.
Yeah.
From overseas is what
Overseas.
my racist ass should have seen.
Oh, that's so funny.
But that was super cool.
Yeah. Oh my God. It was my first time overseas.
Insane.
Yeah. I've only been to Mexico and Canada. Hawaii is the most overseas.
Yeah.
Is that overseas?
You cross an ocean.
I was
yeah.
gonna say, my relatives probably think Mexico is overseas.
It is.
Yeah.
They don't speak English.
Well,
It's different.
that's why I feel like our show is diverse, just because Laura's from upstate New York.
There you go.
Well, which makes it sound like it's nice, but I'm from actually Western New York,
Oh, ouch.
which might as well be the South.
pretty much the South.
I just went to Ohio, right? I was in Cleveland last weekend, and I totally forgot that there's hillbillies
Oh,
way
yeah.
the fuck up
yeah.
there. I didn't know it. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. Okay, so I have a serious question. You have been on a private jet.
Yes.
Have you been on a private jet?
No,
A couple.
I want to.
Me too. First question off the bat: do you, not you personally, but does anyone take a shit on a private plane?
No, it's too small. I don't know who fits in there.
But is the bathroom not like extra fancy that is capable?
Honestly, I've never, because it's usually like 4 seats and it's terrifying.
It is.
I always get scared and I have to take like a Dramamine, like 5 Dramamine or whatever.
All the room and the luxury of it, you don't like to fly, basically.
Well, I do, but the little planes, they're
but the lack of poor
ones.
people doesn't give you like a...
Oh, I mean, that's exhilarating.
Yeah.
The no poor people is nice. And also that you don't have to go like through LAX. That's nice.
I've just always wondered what the manners are on a private plane. Like, can you order anything you want?
I think there's like a scale. Maybe we've gotten, because when the ones I've been on, there's just a basket of snacks.
That's enough for me.
And I usually just take the whole basket. Like, well, this is mine.
But I bet Chelsea's from a wealthy family. I bet she's probably used to that. She's probably been in that situation her whole life.
Oh, yeah.
When someone has been around it a lot when they leave the free shit behind. Do you know what I'm saying? The goodie bag.
I take the free shit.
I clear the room.
And even on the private jet, they ask you like, well, because it's all an exit row. So they're like, are you willing and able? And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not willing. No, nobody's going to help anybody in this situation.
Can we talk about this? This just got on my like radar, right? Because I'm a tall person. So I'll always take the emergency row because I'm leggy.
Yes.
Not because I want to help people.
Me too. Nobody wants to help anyone.
No.
You just want some room and you don't have to pay for a business class
And
ticket.
privacy. Right? So I was getting on the plane. These two were at the thing with D, and you bleep your thing, and then the agent to the oldest people you've ever seen on the planet goes, "You're on an exit row. Are you willing and able?" And the man goes, "Yes." And then we all looked at the wife, who's so old and deaf. The bitch didn't even hear the question, right? So then he goes, "She says yes."
Oh, great.
Then all of us with our lives get on the plane. We're behind them, right? I'm behind them on getting on the plane still. And she goes, "What'd they say?" Like they're discussing what the holdup was, right? And she's like, "The emergency exit." And then the old lady cracks. She goes, "Oh, just everyone's gonna have to die while I figure out what's going right." I'm hearing this.
That's funny. She sounds funny.
I go, "We can switch seats if it's a problem." And then I realized I have my mask on. I'm a 40-year-old stranger to these old people. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't being funny. I was threatening them.
Right.
Anyway, now I pay attention. It's the oldest people ever.
So, well, speaking of old people on planes, on my flight back from Spain, from Barcelona to JFK, somebody died.
Oh, no.
On the flight. Yes.
And this was not a private plane.
No, this was not. It was. I was
noticeable.
No,
when somebody dies on a private plane, it's really noticeable.
Well, can you move him out of the seat at that point? Because you get a better...
So when we were walking on the plane, I was with my boyfriend. I have a boyfriend, and
This is a show about bragging.
Yeah,
I have a boyfriend too.
I have a boyfriend, and so we were walking on, and he's in the pods in the front, and he's already lying down on oxygen as we're boarding.
Shut up.
So, and he's like fully lying down, and I was like, he doesn't look good. And so we walk past the pods, past first class to our economy or whatever main seats, and whatever they call it now.
You've already forgotten.
I know. I'm
Death
like,
has a way.
I
It's
know.
basic economy. Is what it's called.
Okay.
And so then we're like, it's a 7-hour flight. 2 hours in, they're like, bing boom. We have to make a medical emergency stop to our nearest airport, which is Dublin, Ireland.
No.
And so
y'all are over the Atlantic.
Yeah. And then they reroute us. We stop in Ireland. They're like, everyone stay seated. And we're staying seated. It's like moment of silence. The paramedics come on. They're trying to resuscitate for like 20 minutes.
Wow.
Just wait, in that 20 minutes, what is everybody doing?
First of all, I would think that the plane had been hijacked. They're stopping in Belfast.
I know.
Right?
And then we're in the back, and I'm like, what's happening? And we just see them starting to resuscitate. Everyone's quiet. Everyone's texting.
Yeah.
You know? My boyfriend was posting about it. I'm like, don't post.
I know, that was how I found out about it. And my immediate thought was like, well, do they just like, do y'all get an extra Biscoff cookie?
No, nothing. We were waiting. And so then they put a curtain around him. And we're like,
never a
okay,
good sign.
shit's, I'm like, either he's doing a show or he died. He's about to come out and dance or he died.
But Vanessa, what part of where in the airplane was he?
So he's
The
in
cockpit.
in the pods in the front,
Like the rich seat.
Oh, in the cock. Oh, okay.
Like
I
the
thought you
rich
meant-
seat.
the rich pods where you have a pod.
Yeah.
So that's not the first class anymore. There's
It's
something even beyond.
above.
I had no idea.
There's another.
On international flights. That's right.
Yes.
Okay,
Where
I
you
beg
get
your
a
pardon.
small studio apartment
Yeah.
on the plane.
right. Oh,
Yes.
shit.
Yeah.
So not
Wow.
only is he dying, but he's rich.
He's rich.
So it's a real bittersweet moment.
Yeah. So then, and he's old. He was very old, and so they get him off the plane.
Finally.
And then they come and sanitize everything.
Because death is contagious.
Right. It's gross. And then they were like, "Okay, we're leaving in an hour. Everyone stay seated." And then we kept on flying. We just dropped him off.
Did they offer any kind of if anyone's uncomfortable?
No.
Or here's a counselor in case death is
Nobody-
traumatizing?
I was like, "Is the pod half off? Because I'll pay for the half off pod. I can't afford a pod no one's died in.
A bump to death.
Yeah,
Wait, did they
I
put-
would have sat in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, a pod is one of those things where you can close like a door?
Yeah, there's like a little
Wow.
door. There's
I've
a
never
little.
seen it.
You
Telling
can
you.
lie down, like fully lie down all the way.
Yeah, in case
when-
you're feeling close to death.
right.
I think the only time that I was in that sort of a luxury situation was when it was upstairs on a flight. I mean,
Yes,
like
the
like
lounge.
Well, I've never been
Yeah.
on an upstairs
Yeah.
A
plane.
twofer. We did,
Yeah.
but we had to go to fucking South Africa to find
Yeah.
that plane.
Oh
They don't
my
make those anymore.
Wow.
Okay, then everyone's just acting like it's a normal flight after that?
Yeah, and then everyone just kept on going. And it was funny because someone behind me was complaining about another old man that couldn't find his book. And he's like, "This man keeps asking me where his book is, and I'm frustrated." And I'm like, "He might die, sir." So, like, it'll work itself
Yeah,
out.
don't stress anybody out.
Yeah,
How about
I know.
that?
Who had to sanitize that place?
I don't know. It was a team. And I was trying to like get photos, but I was far back.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
really see.
Wow.
Have you ever been on a plane when they say like you land and you never knew it, and all of a sudden they're like, and now everyone's stay in their seats while we remove like a military body? There's a body in the plane.
Oh, no.
Like they were already dead before takeoff, like in a coffin. Yes.
No.
And sometimes there's usually like a family escort or something. So then someone you might have pegged as being like a really rude, impatient passenger who's being snippy with the flight attendants then stands up and you realize they're a bitch because they're escorting their dead family member.
Oh,
Yes.
no. I didn't know that was a thing.
It's the only way that people behave when we're deplaning. No one's fighting to get out of the seat after
Right.
a dead body goes first.
Oh, gosh.
I think they should stage that just to get everybody in line.
Yeah.
Check their manners.
Oh, yeah, because people are like running off from the back now.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah. I'm like, I thought there was a rule like you wait till
Yeah,
you're
you
till
do. You
you're
get your
row.
stuff out.
No.
Yeah,
now there's
should
like a
be.
mad dash.
They're running. I'm like, what? Okay.
Gosh, go ahead.
No,
oh
you.
no, I was just gonna say. I remember coming back from Australia, from Melbourne. I was doing a show, and actually, it was one of the first times I'd ever been on any TV specials. It was a Comedy Central thing, and I think they were calling it a world tour, but it was just New York, Melbourne, and I think California.
The world.
Yeah, internet, the world, in the cheapest way possible. It's Comedy Central. So
Yeah.
this is a great thing about going away to do a televised show, and then I didn't do that well because I started out with this joke. I was like 24 or 5, I guess, and I said, "I'm a little nervous about tonight because if I bomb, I'll be bombing for 2 people because I'm pregnant." And then everybody applauds.
That's great.
And then everybody applauds, and I said, "Please hold your applause. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it." There's a silence. And you can see that it's like it's being taped, you know. So I was like, "Wow, I have just bombed in front of a country. I have just taken
International.
Yeah. And
my
I might not even get home after this. I might go straight to God knows what. So on the way back,
Great joke.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. But everybody's kind of like not talking to me afterward. And then on the way back, I'm sick from whatever, like,
The
drinking
baby.
food.
The baby.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Because I really did.
Morning sickness.
Yeah. No, but So on the way back, I feel like fluish or whatever, and I'm way in the back, and the bathrooms are all full, and so I say to the stewardess, "I think I'm going to be sick. Can I go that?" And she goes, "No, that's first class," because it was just first and then everybody else.
Yeah.
And I said, "But I'm really sick, and that's the only bathroom that's not." "I'm sorry." So then I'm like, "I have to," and she says, "You really can't." I vomited on the door.
Yes.
Yeah, I threw up completely on the as I'm about to go.
That flight attendant.
Yeah. And then she let me in to like clean up.
I was gonna say, and then she recognized you.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're Laura Kightlinger.
No, I never get recognized.
She was gonna be like, "Ma'am, I'm serious. You can't go there."
I just threw up on the door. I'm okay now.
Awesome.
But can you imagine? Like, I could tell too that I was kind of dripping with sweat or something. So I threw up on the door. I didn't do that intentionally. I was just like, okay.
It was an act of rebellion.
Yeah. So then she let me in to kind of clean up.
That happened to me at fucking church camp. The only time I went to church camp,
God.
3 of the most miserable days of my life. Never knew I actually liked my parents. Do you know what I mean? Where you go somewhere, you're like, oh my God, I want to go home. Who knew? And it was the last day. Long story of days of misery. And it was the last day. I'd been humiliated several times in front of large groups. I'd been escorted to the infirmary more than once.
No.
Oh
no.
This is a 3-day experience. But on the final, I think I told you this, on the last day, I'm tall, so they put me on the back row of the photo, right? They're taking a group photo of all 300 fucking Methodists, right? Who cares? We're all 9 and under.
Oh, God.
I'm one of the tallest, so they put us on the back row, and then that's the first row, so they're trying to get all the other kids in line.
One of the
wait, hot roaring Texas summer sun. All the people helping us are just moms, right? They're ladies, they're old Christian ladies, they're overwhelmed. And it's hot. And so I'm the same thing you know the feeling. It's like different. You're like, something is about to go wrong. And I'm trying to be, I'm staying in my spot, trying to signal to this old bitch at the end of the line. And she's like waving me down. There's more important things to happen. And finally I'm like, hey. And she's like, she just says what? She doesn't even come over. She's like, I'm sick. And she goes, it'll be over in just a few minutes. And then without even blinking, I just turned and just barfed. Luckily, I'm on the back row, so I could just turn and barf in the grass. Yeah. But then immediately, that lady knew she'd fucked up, right?
Wow.
Immediately, because then it was like all like cylinders, everything's firing, like trying to get, oh my gosh, baby, I'm so sorry, come here.
Oh, yeah.
Which is true.
I feel a lawsuit coming on.
Exactly. Meanwhile, all the other kids are like, what? They see that I'm just like, so then that was like the 3rd time I had to be escorted to the infirmary.
Oh, no.
In front of all the other kids. Do you know what I mean?
No, that's the worst. Having to be sick while following rules is the worst.
That's something I want to ask you about. Now, you were a teacher. You were a grade school or a preschool.
Preschool, yeah, 3-year-olds.
Oh, jeez.
I know.
Like, what are 3-year-olds even doing in school?
They're just shitting and pissing themselves.
Right?
They don't even know. I was like in charge of the potty training, and like parents for real were like, "Oh yeah, you potty train them." I'm like, "No, you're supposed to."
Oh no, that's awful.
I'm not, but I feel like now I'm pretty good at potty training dogs and kids.
Oh, sure.
I'm like, I'm on a 30-minute. Let's go. Just go sit there.
You just
everybody
deprive them food.
Yeah.
Rule number 1.
I'm like, keep them on the toilet.
Yeah. My mom is that. They call her the shit whisperer. Because my cousins would send their kids to my mom because she could make the deal happen. Is it fun to be around kids all the time?
Oh yeah, I miss it. I loved kids. I was scared of the age at first, but now I think older kids I would be more scared of.
Yeah.
I think 3-year-olds, it's fun because you can lie and they believe you. It's, you know.
Right.
And older kids can,
buy
probably
a gun.
I was going to say they're probably better putting their finger in the, where you can really hit the trigger.
Yeah.
They can put a little bit of force behind it. But I guess
the 3-year-olds in Texas also had guns.
Yeah, they're all packaged.
Yeah, I was going to say, Lord.
But it's the parents that are scary, right?
Yeah, the parents are annoying, and that was hard. And also, I had like some teachers that I got along with, but then others didn't like me because they knew I didn't care. They were like, you're always on your phone. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to do comedy. Okay,
like what would you?
Plus, what are you supposed to be doing other than that with kids? Like, no, you have lessons to work out with them, and
I know. I'm like, what lessons? They're 3,
right? Yeah. But they're like, but the shit on the floor needs to be like cleaned up,
right?
The one thing about because people don't understand is that teachers are just having these kids dropped off.
Yeah, they're babysitters.
Yeah, there's all
literally
these like things you're supposed to fill in that the parents don't. And then does a parent come and you're like, my kid smells like urine?
No, never that. But one parent was like, my brother's daughter is learning cursive at her preschool. I'm like, tell your daughter to stop shitting herself.
Yeah.
And then we can work on cursive.
We can hold a pencil.
Right. Like she can't. What are you talking about?
Because in Texas, is it like, what happens if you don't like the principal? Is that the number one enemy? Like,
oh yeah, I mean that we had a hard principal. I guess principal. It's a daycare, you know. Yeah. And I think the person who hired me, she wasn't working there long after I was hired, but she did me a favor because I have a theater degree, and she was like, "Well, you should have like, you know, child care classes." I'm like, "I have none." And I was like, "I just need a job," and she's like, "Okay, well, yeah, we'll figure something out for you." And then she got fired, and I was like, "Well, I'm still here." 6 years later, I'm still there babysitting.
That is crazy.
But you know what, too? I bet, like, in any kind of interview, especially that, you can tell when someone has a lot of heart and is kind and kind of an empath. And that's what you get. You know, Vanessa has a really warm vibe. First of all, I would think, you know, like...
Vanessa's the real deal, yeah.
I know. Like, you can tell, like, if somebody's kind of standoffish in an interview or if they're saying really pat things. Like, I was talking to this friend of mine about what we used to say to get... What I said just to get a job at Ponderosa. I love being with people.
Yeah.
I love food.
All lies.
It's like, come on.
I know.
I had a theater teacher who, she was this old crone. I shouldn't even call her crone. We were best friends.
All theater teachers are.
Her name was Miss DeHaven, which, like, DeMille, DeHaven, anything with a D in front of it, right? She had that. First of all, her husband was the resident substitute teacher. So anytime a teacher was out, it was him who was the sub.
That's awesome.
But it was brilliant because he'd be on like finals days and things when you could cheat openly. It was great. She taught me the phrase kindred spirits, right? Because we connected on all kinds of old faggy levels. But it got to the point because I was late all the time, right? So I get into class and to erase my lateness, she'd go, "Daniel, thank you for running that errand." And she would cover for no reason, right? For no reason.
What a sweetie. That's so nice.
And so we would get into these things where she'd be like, "Daniel, I need to see you at my desk." And I'd come up to the desk and she'd hold up like the attendance card and she'd be like, "That bitch in the vice principal's office told me." And she'd bitch about the staff, right?
I love that.
But one time she was bitching about the vice principal. She goes, she was like, "That bitch just wants her pension because you just need 2 years and you collect it, right?" And she's like, because she was saying that, I can tell that bitch doesn't like kids from day one, right? I love that.
And she taught you what pension was.
Yeah, she taught me all of it. But she also taught me how to put on like Wicked Witch makeup.
Oh, see, I had a teacher in high school that was a total bitch. And if I was a minute late, she would call my mom.
Oh, no.
Every day. I'm a senior in high school. I'm 18.
That's
an
terrible.
adult.
And her name was Miss Gonzalez also. So my mom would play me her work messages and it would be my bitch teacher being like, "Miss Gonzalez, this is Miss Gonzalez. Vanessa was late again." And I'm like, "Bitch, get over it."
So your mom must be cool. She thought that was funny. I love that.
Because my mom was always late too, everywhere.
Yeah.
And my mom's like, "Come and listen to Miss Gonzalez. This is Miss Gonzalez."
Oh my God.
We say it to this day. We're like, "Miss Gonzalez, this is Miss Gonzalez."
I love that.
My parents were the total opposite. Because our junior high did it. If you failed a test or a quiz, not a life-changing thing, just random quiz. If you got below a 70, your name would be plugged into a system and a machine. You'd get robocalled.
Oh my God.
That night because to inform your parents that you had failed, right?
God.
And it was a recording of the principal, Mr. Irwin Matthews, who would mumble to himself. And we always said he was talking to his dead sons because all of his sons had killed themselves. So, but anyway, so a recording would go, "This is Irwin Matthews. Your student failed a quiz or test in their in their history and or math science program today." Yes, and then it would click, right? So 2 things would happen. You just try to intercept the phone call, right? So all night you'd be racing to the phone every time it rang.
Oh man!
And then if you happen to catch it when it was the machine, you'd have to fake a phone call. A quick, "Oh, hi, okay, great, bye." But then there were times you just couldn't, right? And you'd know it because you'd hear a hello and then there'd be silence as they listened to the robocall outing your failure. But then hands on, every time my dad would come in, he'd come sliding in the room all pissed and go, "The principal just called." Like, it's a reverse answering machine, you fucking idiot. It's not It's not Erwin
This
Matthews.
is automated calls.
The principal
me.
just
Oh
had
my
to call us to
God.
tell us you failed a spelling test.
That's funny.
But he took it so seriously.
No,
every time.
I do. I said that recently. I'm like, I appreciate that my mom, she was like, get C's, whatever, just to get by. A's aren't important. And I'm like, yeah.
She's great.
She didn't instill perfectionism in me, which has helped me a lot.
Yeah.
She's always like, girl, whatever you need to do the minimum just to get by. And I'm like, great.
I need your mom.
Yeah, she's fantastic. You know, I think just teachers in general, the ones that truly love kids, are an amazing breed. Like like Garrett's mom is a teacher. She's incredible. Like she always brings in these amazing things to talk about. Really, she got an actual octopus that was already dead and brought it in to show the kids to be able to touch and look at it. You know, like I mean, it was in
That's
some kind of
cool.
thing. But she was
Wait, where'd she get the octopus?
I don't know. Like it was some sort of. And now we're gonna have to cut this whole story.
What
'cause it sounds
Wuhan
fucking terrible.
wet market did she buy this Corona lace?
I don't know. She gets these kidneys. I don't know where from, and she's able to show the kids where the actual arteries
black
are.
market is,
Instead-
yeah.
and that maybe their parents could buy them if they need to in the future. But for them to be able to see it, right there in the in the ice crate, it's like in the
like a
cooler, I guess,
hands-on-
in a cooler. Yeah. God almighty. Anyway, she's
so
amazing,
funny.
and I think she's won like several teacher awards, like best
Really?
teacher. In
The
America.
teacher we found out she run the decathlon. She was a psycho. She was
Whoa.
like a Texas Spitfire, but she taught decathlon. She won Teacher of the Year, but we found out it's because she nominated herself,
Oh,
Wow.
which is the ultimate decathlon move. I thought. I was like, but she
that's
did.
really doing everything for everybody. Yeah.
I was super late all the time, and the only teacher to the point where my parents had to have a conference about it. Right, that whole thing. Daniel's life is falling apart.
Why were you super late?
It was like in passing periods. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I see.
And it wasn't any kind of like it was literally the bell rings and then you walk in the room.
I was because I couldn't get my locker open.
Yeah, mine was never smoking
anyway.
or anything fun. Yeah.
It's like the class is far and I walk slow.
Yeah, it was never anything juicy.
Right.
But this one teacher, he got back from the parent-teacher meeting. He was a coach / history teacher. And he it's hard to take anyone serious when they have a giant sty on their eye. But he was like, I just came from the conference. I just want you to know we're all good people. Or we all know you're a good person. But none of this matters. You know, being late in your life is not even going to matter. You're just going to live your life. Last night, I was at the Rush concert with my wife, and I was like, and then he just lost me. I was like, what? Nothing matters. Now we're at a Rush concert. Can you teach me some history, please?
You know, someday you might live in LA where nobody's ever on time.
Right? You're gonna go to a Rush concert with your wife? I'm like, no, you don't even know who you're fucking talking to.
That's so funny.
Okay, so you're wearing a Dolly Parton shirt,
Oh, yes.
and you just got. Have you seen her live?
No.
Really?
Did you?
I went with Ralphie.
Oh, yeah.
And Carrie.
That's right.
We didn't. Have you seen Dolly
Shout
live?
out
No.
Ralphie and Carrie.
Ralphie, hard to see. Carrie.
I'm sorry, I'm
Camin, no.
straight. Do I need to bring it up?
I'm like, I'm straight too. I haven't seen her.
I
I
went
know.
in-
I am a fan of hers. I think she's amazing.
We went in drag.
Oh, that's great.
And I asked Ralphie, I was in high heels, and at the last minute, I was like, wait, should I wear something I can run in? 'Cause
Maybe.
fucking Texas, you know. So I switched to boots. And then, because at the time, I was like, if I'm going to enjoy this concert, I need 4 beers before it starts. And so I was getting drinks when they went to get their seats. So then the old usherette led me to the wrong seat in the wrong section.
Wow.
Which was the Christian lesbian section, which is a thing. Do you know what I'm
That's
talking
a
about?
thing?
Yes. They wear
Okay.
James Avery jewelry.
Oh, I know that.
So then there's
Yes.
6'3" Daniel in full drag, pink dress, blonde wig, full makeup, sitting with 4 beers in a
that's
sea of
fantastic.
because when Dolly asked people to pray, everyone bow your
Well,
head
he's
and pray.
trying to be a girl. I don't know. What do you want me to do about it? He had makeup on. Of course he should be in the ladies section.
One of the lesbian Christians looked at me and said point blank, she goes, well, I wouldn't have worn a straight wig.
Oh.
Yes. Judgment. Anyway, at the intermission, I looked around
That's
and there was
so
Ralphie and
funny.
Carrie
Oh, but
waving
you
at
got
me.
better seats then.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
The mean scenes. Mean
You had to
scenes.
pay for them.
Well, no, socially
Yeah,
speaking.
socially.
But you went to Dollywood?
Yeah, well, we just walked around. It was like a quick thing. I think we were doing Graceland and we got to see that, which I also just went to the White House.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so lame.
It looks I think it even looks lame on
Graceland,
TV.
Graceland was way better than the White House. It was so lame. I was like, there's no pictures of Trump up.
No.
Which and I was like, oh, that's wow. Like they for real were like not
erased. Because
Yeah.
they do the portrait like later.
Well, yeah. Oh, but I'm like, there was not like
But
there was
2016, there must have been time for him to be up there.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, because I was looking, I was like, is he around? And it was like all the presidents, all the kids that have ever lived there, all the dogs that have ever. And I'm like, okay, the dogs. And then I'm like, there's no Trump.
No.
I know. You
me
feel
hope.
bad for him.
Sort of. Well,
I hope.
I'm like, was it the dogs or is that the Trump children?
Right, I
Which
don't
one
know.
is which?
Well, that's the thing. I didn't see a Melania. I didn't see a Barron.
None of it.
None. And I was like, oh, that's embarrassing.
Does Hillary?
Well, maybe you can take. I was just thinking, maybe you can take down the president that was ousted before you. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
maybe-
yeah.
I don't know.
I'm like, if we're taking down criminals, then we need to take down some others.
The other, yeah.
Yeah.
If that's the rule, yeah.
Vanessa, was Biden up?
In-house?
There was Biden pictures and Jill and Joe with the dog, like very family
The dog that
photos.
bites. I love the dog
The
that
dog-
bites.
But
I
that's
love it,
me.
too.
I wanted to meet her.
Because my dog bit, my dead dog, he bit everybody.
Oh, yes,
Did he bite
fair.
you?
No, never. He was sweet to me.
You took care of him.
I did.
Thanks for helping.
Yeah.
But
It's like the dog is consciousness.
exactly.
Let's bite all of these assholes. This is not cool. We're never doing anything for right.
It's not a real. It's an anime character there to represent consciousness.
To represent empathy and
Did they
whatever
remove
isn't
him?
greedy, huh?
Did they remove him from the White House though? Right? Because he bit so many people.
I think they were talking about it. I don't know if they did.
But he has a biting dog name, right? It's like Scout or Bandit or.
Right. But there was pictures of him up and not Trump.
no Trump.
Isn't that funny? But I was just like, I think it's hilarious, but I'm like, I'm sure his followers come and take issue with that.
Oh,
I would
somebody.
think so.
Right?
I'm sure every day there's like some tour guide who has to hear the. Like,
Where's the Trump photo?
right?
Or maybe on January 6th, maybe they took stole the photos
Maybe.
Yeah.
for themselves or something.
But
I
did
don't know.
the president has to sit for the portrait, right? Do they do that whole thing?
Yeah. I saw one of Reagan and that they forgot to paint his wedding ring on.
Oh my God!
Well, he wasn't wearing it, and instead of adding it on, they just said,
He forgot to put it on.
That's so great. Like he takes it off for 2 seconds to go to a bar, and then
right.
All right.
That he wasn't wearing, and that they asked Nancy if she wanted it, like for them to paint it on, because it's a painting. They could have,
yeah.
And she was like, "No, that's fine."
This is my favorite. This is horrible. I didn't make this up, but what is Ronald Reagan's pickup line at a bar? Do I come here often?
fantastic.
Isn't that great? I love that joke. All that joke. So wait, so there's a ringless Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, in the White House, and then Obama's Michelle was there.
Hers is gorgeous.
Yeah, I took a picture
Hers
with
is
her,
beautiful.
and then the rest, I was like, not bothered.
We were in DC doing shows, and it was like, and my boyfriend went as a kid. Like everyone's family takes them there as kids, and he was like, our parents were acting like it's the biggest deal in the world, and everyone's fucking bored as shit, right?
It was so boring.
But when we were in DC, a woman had been struck by lightning and killed.
Oh, jeez.
Yes.
In DC.
I know, yeah.
my God.
So then everybody, the security was heightened. I was like, against lightning? Like, what?
Wow.
What's the plan?
But they got to the Capitol that day.
right, exactly. Well, they sure did. I started a podcast. It was right before pandemic, so I gave up on it. But I had people over, and then at the very end, I would slide a piece of paper over, go, okay, and now draw my portrait.
Oh, I
And
like that.
most people would be game for it, but Martha Kelly went into a anxiety K-hole. She was like, I can't draw. I don't want to hurt your feelings. I can't do it.
Oh, she's amazing. She's also from
amazing.
Austin, right?
Yeah,
Oh.
absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm so
shout
proud.
out Martha.
Yeah, hey, Martha.
I had and I actually used this on the Minor Accomplishments of Jackie Woodman. My mom sent me all of my stuff from childhood, and there was an assignment to draw yourself as a kid. and I have to show you when we take a break. I have to show you how I drew myself.
I would love to see
It's
that.
really mind blowing.
What is it? Describe it.
I want you to see it, and then we'll post it.
And then we'll discuss it. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I drew Paula Abdul when I was a kid. There
you're in love
are
with her.
all these drawings of Paula Abdul. It's like her in a tight ponytail and a mole. And like different costumes. That was like, I don't think I ever drew myself.
I think mine kind of looked like the Mona Lisa is what I was like. I remember like a really bad Mona Lisa is what my self-portrait.
And
looked like.
how old were you then?
Probably like 17, 18.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this was a serious art class.
It was.
Yeah.
Do you
Grown
remember?
ups.
This always makes me laugh. This is one of my favorite things ever. Do you remember the lady? I forget where this was, but there was like the fresco, right? The painting on the wall that was centuries old, and it was the face of Jesus had been like worn away. So this random lady just decided to etch it in and fix it, and then she'd gone overboard and ruined it, and he looked like a capuchin monkey.
Wow.
It's the funniest thing ever. Like the before is better than that.
Right.
And then she's blurred and
Amazing.
smeared these features in that he just looks like a tiny circus animal.
I love it.
like, you know when a monkey dresses like a bellhop? Yeah. It's like
It's
that.
like when you never question anything. You say, if this person wants to do that, that's so
Yeah.
amazing. Yes, please restore it.
It's people have this weird intuition or this weird feeling that they're helping the world.
Yeah.
I don't. Do you
Isn't
feel
that wild?
Yeah, I feel like my existence is a blight.
No,
You don't?
Are you kidding me? If we did,
Same.
Yeah. Welcome to Blights Are Us. Okay, so wait, you've been touring like
Yes.
crazy.
Yeah.
Do you like touring?
Oh yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's definitely funner to tour opening for Chelsea Handler than by myself.
Well, it's too different. Yeah.
You know, like I'm not on private jets. I got to take, the Greyhound and all that. But it's so fun and we get along so well.
Yeah.
Like that's the best part is that we're like we mesh well.
Yeah. But the travel and all that bullshit you like. And...
Oh yeah. I mean, it is exhausting, but every comic I know is exhausted and
Oh,
tired.
yeah.
And it's like we're all tired, and if you're tired, you're doing something.
Yeah.
so good. It's true. Yeah. When are we not tired?
That's a great. I mean,
I don't do anything and I'm tired.
You do too. I just bore myself. Boyfriend said that the other day. He's like, "You're always tired." I was like, "I'm busy."
I'm busy. I know. I joke with Chelsea. I'm like, I work 20 minutes a night. Give me a break.
But so, can we dissect that just for a second, though? Because
what goes into it? Yeah.
Well, because the mental, right? At least for me, can you go all over the place all day and then focus and do a good 20 minutes?
Yeah, I've gotten used to it because she's, we'll have dinner, we have drinks.
Yeah.
We've also learned to we both have good shows when we're a few drinks in.
Sure.
So now
Yeah.
it's like our
Yeah.
That's
ritual.
right. I feel that way. I
Yeah.
always have to have
Yeah.
And we loosen up and stuff. Now I've gotten there. In the beginning, I was like, I need to prep, but I've gotten used to it now. Yeah.
That has also changed for me. I used to be like a sweaty pacing.
Yeah.
I have to write my set
All day.
all day. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just really in the last year, that melted away.
Yeah, it's hard to just go out cold. You're the first one. Is that
Yeah,
like y'all?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just you, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And first of all, I'm touring with Margaret Cho. When I first saw Margaret was the first time I learned there was an opener. Oh. This is in 2002. So the theater gets dark and everyone's like, oh my gosh, she's about to walk on the stage. And then her opener comes out and you hear the audience go, oh.
I know.
And so I get, I get that. I don't
Yeah.
but I do enjoy the I know you're going to like me, most of you, or
Yeah.
will not hate me by the end of it, right?
Yes.
That little task, I enjoy that.
And I'm sure Margaret has awesome crowds.
Oh, it's
Like,
embedded. Yeah.
yeah.
Her crowds are amazing. But then, I don't know, we did a couple clubs last year where we were like, it's one of those where oh shit, there's conservative people here.
Yeah. Isn't that what, even for Chelsea?
So what is that like?
It's so, because, we'll do the casinos and stuff.
Yes.
And in the casinos, I think if you're staying there, they're like, here's free tickets to a comedy show. And they don't know.
No, yeah.
But we've had MAGA hats in the front row.
And you're like, what the fuck are
And
you doing
it's
here?
you are in the wrong room,
Yeah.
sir. You're in the wrong room.
We just did the Niagara Casino.
Oh, how was it?
It was fun, but the first show
God.
I'm used to it now, right? So you know
Yeah.
what to expect. You're like,
Right.
just whatever. But it was this weird theater seating where it's
Oh,
like...
yeah, amphitheater?
Yeah, that shit.
Yeah.
And I walked out and just... I don't normally say this, but I was like, I'm just a faggot from Texas. Which I don't normally say that.
That's what I say.
Just right I steal Vanessa's opener. And immediately this dude is right here, because right there, it's a graduated, what do you call it? Stadium seating.
Yes, yes.
So the guy's at eye level. And I say, I'm a faggot from Texas. And before anyone can say anything, he goes, wrong stage, buddy.
No.
Out the jump,
What?
right? So then I'm like, no, I'm actually on the right stage. And
You're
then,
in the wrong stage.
but then the whole place erupts in this crazy, like, applause, like I just won some huge battle.
Yeah.
It's like, y'all are all over the place.
I know.
But I saw Joan Rivers at a casino.
That's incredible.
And it was wild.
The fact that you saw Joan
3 times.
Ugh, that's
3 times.
incredible.
And once with... Okay, Laura has left the building.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you brought it?
And
I
returned.
need a professional to describe, to read and describe.
Okay, so wait.
How
what's
I,
that? Oh my
how I, let's see, I must have been.
I'm so excited.
I know.
It was
I can't wait
probably
for this.
It was kindergarten.
Really?
No.
Yeah. So how do you think? What do I think of myself? Here, you can even read, if you want to read this.
Okay,
Look,
this
I'm
is
out of
Laura's-
breath because I read that.
This is Laura's...
No, okay.
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 What does it
I
say?
want to teach
Oh
you
my
something.
God.
Okay. In September, I asked your child to draw himself. Yesterday, I repeated the same instructions. Please note the comparison.
What do I look like?
That's
you look
a
like a pair of
penis.
testicles. You look like a dick.
I look like.
You look like
yeah,
an erect penis sitting on top of 2...
That is exactly right.
Hold on, I want to
That's
hold
so
this.
That's
funny.
how I drew myself.
Okay, and first of
I
all, people,
love that.
this is on Manila paper.
Thank you.
I don't know.
beg everyone's
people
pardon.
from last century.
Oh, paper. I beg your pardon again.
Oh my
is-
God.
There's a clear green shaft, a
Yeah.
hard green shaft with veinage at the top.
Yeah. Or I thought, is that hair?
That's here. There's a face.
fucking
There is a
okay.
face on top.
No,
but it
there's
look,
one. No. There is one. It's a dick hole.
Oh, for
Lord, we have to bleep this whole thing.
isn't that great?
I
To make
love
a
that.
real empath and kindergarten teacher. I mean preschool teacher laugh at that. I drew
my
myself.
God.
It looked,
Holy shit! Wait, did you see
And
what
you-
the bitch? The grade she got?
Fair. That's the grade. She wrote.
Did you see that?
Fair.
The
In
red
red-
she wrote was fair on top.
In
You
red
read it?
pen.
Yeah,
In
not
red.
night. I need to call in the parent because see that's the difference between you young kids and when I grew up. I drew myself as a penis and nobody gave a shit. They just gave me a bad grade. Anybody else would have called their parent in like, I think your kid might have a.
Oh my god.
All right. Well, first of all, I drew shoes like circles. Okay,
Uh-huh.
that's the balls in that picture.
Yes.
So that I feel like is me wearing
Yeah.
shoes.
Okay. Yeah.
But
no,
it
I
looks
see it.
exactly like a penis.
Like
I
a
see it.
penis. Yeah, this if a kid drew this today,
Yeah.
that would be several meetings.
Yeah, the parents
Thank
would be
you.
arrested,
Thank
but
you.
you would be a TikTok sensation.
There would be a church camp involved.
Yeah. So at the top of it is written height and weight. That's your height and weight.
Apparently.
You
What
were a
was it?
46 inches and 46 and 3/4 inches, and your weight was just a simple 46.
Oh man.
Laura, look at what you've ballooned to
I know.
now.
I am a cow.
You're like a 96 now. Okay? What the fuck?
At least that.
I'm so glad you got
so
that.
Thank you, you dolls. I was thinking
Oh
that
my
is that
God.
really narcissistic of me to
No,
get down? But I think
you-
I had to see your
You
experience.
have
you-
to post that somewhere.
Yeah. If you had said I drew a dick, I wouldn't have necessarily.
I know,
wouldn't have
I
put that-
know.
But my favorite thing is okay. So at the bottom of the thing you read, the note from the teacher is typed. I think that's the like red flag. Please note the comparison.
Oh,
Yeah.
because I think then this. Maybe she said something.
What's the next
Even to
one?
me, I think this was the comparison. And in this one, I'm a dick, but I'm holding something.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, what's in your
The next
hands?
time, I'm holding a
What
carrot
is
or an
that?
apple.
I can picture her the next day being like, "Let's try this again."
Again, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened,
Laura,
Vanessa.
the
Because it
thing you're
says-
holding is a butt plug. That's
Well,
what
what-
it is. It's an insertable.
That's where it becomes the euphemism.
Yeah.
A dick holding an apple.
Laura, you're supposed to hold your tongue when you say that.
A dick, no, I mean, what was it? Like a penis was like my arm. I mean, an arm holding an apple.
A baby's arm
baby
holding
holding
an
an
apple.
apple.
If
Okay, well, that was a
that's
dick
a very
holding an
sexy
apple.
way to say I have a huge dick.
Okay, well, I do. And
My
you know
friend Phil was the horniest person I've ever known. Philip, he's the dirtiest person. He's the guy who said that all the time. He'd be like, dude, my dick is a baby's arm holding an apple. That's where I first heard that. And he'd always make jokes about like if a woman was sexy, he'd look at you and be like, "It moved," which means like his dick is getting hard.
Oh, jeez.
And when I tell you the oldest gross, we worked in a restaurant together, so the oldest grossest woman would walk by and he'd just go, "It moved." Every time. Every time he'd come up behind you and whisper while you're talking to a table. I go, "It moved." It was great. One thing we did in elementary school is where they make you write your name at the beginning of the year and then you write at the end of the year. But it was the year they taught us cursive.
Oh, sure.
So at the end of the year, it looked like I'd had a stroke.
Oh,
I know.
Or that I'd drawn it with my feet.
It's hard. Nobody writes in cursive anymore, though.
yeah, because why would they have to?
Yeah, it's very
Handwriting
mom.
doesn't matter.
I know.
I mean, it's like my grandma's handwriting looked like my other grandma's handwriting, looked like every old lady's handwriting.
It was beautiful.
It was
Right?
beautiful.
Really perfect.
Right.
Yeah, with they wrote with a feather.
Yeah, like a quill.
Quill.
Yeah. It was very specific and very,
Do you remember how like Disney movies and Looney Tunes would do this too, but like like Sleeping Beauty or something would start with like the storybook opening and it would have the page of it. But I remember being a kid being like, "Bitch, I can't read. I'm 5. I can't.
Somebody
I don't know what this shit is going on."
Subtitles.
Looney Tunes did that all the time, where there'd be like a product that they'd hold it like "Warning, explodes if near bunnies" or something. And I remember being like, "I can't read."
They had some grown-up jokes in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think all the things that you read in the cartoons I never got, but now
for
I'm like,
adults,
yeah.
right?
It's
It's
like
all war propaganda.
Yeah, it's like Bugs's butt plug.
have you seen that though? All the like Bugs and Daffy go to war and like all that
yeah.
shit.
Is it coming back on?
It's back in business.
I have no idea.
No, I had a film history teacher that would like
Oh, I love that.
only show us fucked up stuff.
Well, it was so smart too because I remember there was a Bugs Bunny cartoon. I hope I probably talked about this before, but that kind of alluded to gangsters and prohibition because there was like the Irish cops came over looking for somebody.
Yes.
And Bugs said, if I was going to hide Big Boy McGillicuddy or whatever, would I hide him in the stove? And then the Irish cop goes, "You might, Travis, you might." "Would I hide him under the bed? You might, Travis, you might." And so they were like, he was trying to kill the gangsters, but all of their names were kind of like, Lefty or
gangster
cartoon
names.
gangsters. Yeah.
Did you notice that Monty started barking when you did your Bugs Bunny voice?
No, I know.
He's like, "Where's that fucking rabbit? There's that rabbit again. Where the fuck is it?" How's Bugs?
Oh, good. I have a dog named Bugs. I don't have a lot of bugs.
I love that name. I love that name for
How are your bugs?
Yeah, her name's Bugs, short for Vanessa Gonzalez.
Oh.
Yeah, she's the sweet. She's a boxer.
So cute.
We rescued her after Hurricane Harvey hit, and they told us she was a pug.
Oh.
Right? They were like, "We got pugs. We're full of pugs." And at the time, I lived in a studio apartment with my boyfriend. I have a boyfriend, and we were like, "Yeah, we need a little dog." And now she's 60 pounds.
Huge.
Yeah,
So
huge,
cute.
so cute. But we love her so much.
Is your boyfriend from Austin?
He's from the Dallas area, so like Tyler, Texas.
Okay.
He is?
Yeah. He's from there, but and I'm from the border, Laredo.
RGV.
But I was
Yeah.
going to say, isn't he glad that you're both just staying in Austin, or does he want? He didn't want to come out here, did he?
No, well, he was about to like make the big jump and move with me. We were doing the long distance thing, but then everything shut down, and I was like, "Oh, thank God you didn't quit your job because we need your job right now." So his whole family's there, my whole family's there, but we've talked, and I'm like, if we have to move, he would be down.
You
but-
made a good move at that time, though. LA and pandemic was fucking insane.
It was
And if you were
hard.
alone, you know what I
I
mean? And stuff like
know.
that, it was so different.
Yeah.
But if you and your boyfriend ever want to come out, if you have to show her something, you can always stay with us.
Oh, thank you.
If you don't want to stay in, Chelsea Handler's double deluxe penthouse or
She
whatever.
lets
Right.
me park in her parking
Oh, she
lot.
does?
In
Yes.
her parking lot.
I know. But I love Laura's house. I was trying to con her. into
But you
I
can
love
always
it.
we always have friends come in.
thank
Yeah,
you.
especially comics and stuff.
See?
appreciate
Yeah, you need to be the
that.
comic crash pad.
I used to be in New York,
Yeah.
and when I was living in a studio, Dana Gould and Jeff Gar, all these guys that were coming in from Boston and L.A. would crash at my place in New
Yeah.
York. That was fun.
Who were like your comedy influences and stuff? Who'd you like to watch when you were growing up?
Well, I mean, recently I've been saying Cardi B I think
She's so funny. No joke.
And I'm
hilarious.
like, that bitch is just so naturally funny. I look up to her. But growing up, I loved John Leguizamo.
Yeah.
And like his one-man shows. I was like obsessed with them.
What's the one about his gay uncle?
Freak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That set is amazing.
So good. And I think I've, I talk about my family a lot and stuff. I loved watching Def Comedy Jam. Like Martin Lawrence and everybody on there I was obsessed with too. Every like HBO special that came on, I remember just watching over and over again.
Yeah. I met
Kathy Griffin, everybody. Margaret Cho,
Was Laura Kightlinger anybody you ever I know it doesn't matter. I don't need it. Vanessa, this is not
Chelsea
about
Handler.
Jeez. A lot of really funny women now. Yeah, funny women.
I was told there weren't any when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Laura gave me a copy of her book, and then anytime I ever asked her anything about her life, she goes, it's all in my book.
How awful. I'm fucking lame.
I should have read the book.
Yeah,
okay, there's a manual. Just know a few things. I'm illegitimate.
Right.
I'm probably one of the funniest people, in my high school that nobody knew, and in life now. Just a couple of footnotes.
Do you want to read an excerpt?
Yeah, did Vanessa get prepped on me before she came in here? I don't think she did.
You need to write.
She mentioned every female comic except me from the 90s, every single one.
Honestly, that should have been your first book. Was the picture dick, the dick pic. That was it.
I mean, you two are both young. I felt like
Laura's not only is she sweet, but she's delusional.
No. But I mean, I feel like not until I was in my mid 40s did I realize, wow, everything was really fucked up. I mean, how could you even tell people? I mean, I always do. I can't keep a secret about anything, but I mean, just when you look back at the things that were so crazy and wrong in your childhood, the way other people behaved was terrible.
100%.
I mean, I feel like even now, navigating comedy as a woman in this business, there's still a lot of fucked up shit.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm like, I can't imagine how it was before.
Being from Austin, it's a hard learning curve, the industry and stuff. And everyone in Texas might be racist, but they're friendly.
Yeah.
There's a weird friendliness that even your political enemies or someone are still nice to you. So the betrayal you can enter in the business, right, or whatever, because trying to pursue comedy, all that weird shit where people are nice to you, but then they stab you in the back, or just all of the craziness, you're I'm just a nice person trying to do my thing.
I know. Yeah. I think every comedy scene kind of has its drama, but then the industry is another layer of drama.
Oh my God. Well, I remember just starting out in Boston, and this was probably 88 or 89, a couple years after I'd started. I remember seeing these guys, and I won't say who it was, cornering this other guy and really just putting him against a wall for stealing. And then,
stealing jokes?
Yeah. Threatening, beating, basically kind of
assault.
Yeah, I think somebody may have punched him, and then everybody's wait a minute, hey, let's just tell him what was going on.
Yeah.
Then they go,
wait, hang on. Let me get a turn.
Yeah. Let's just make sure this motherfucking doesn't steal a gun or whatever we're doing, And so then,
but there was less accountability, right? Because who's gonna see that? Tell that. There's no social media.
You can't post about it.
Yeah. Well, see, but what I appreciate about then is the immediate taking care of it. Other than being able to diffuse it and saying, oh, it was parallel thing, or it was this, or rationalize everything. But then it was no, you stole it. We all saw you.
Yeah.
And, and a couple of times, you can't really call people on stuff unless it's on TV. And in this case, this guy, everybody was just starting to get the little cable spots.
Yeah.
And the person that had taken this other guy's, it's kind of a long bit. Was confronted.
I'm so paranoid, or I was. I'm different because now everybody posts clips everywhere and everything.
Yeah.
But I used to the reason I wouldn't do open mics in LA because I was someone's gonna steal my jokes. But it happens.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
I had somebody tell me, I was walking into a club. It was the Comedy Store. I was walking in, and this comic I didn't know, actually, but he was, a nice guy. He said, hey, the other night we saw so-and-so do your bit, and we said, hey, that's Laura's bit. And I was like, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
And I did this for so long. I said, well, I was asked to do a benefit for babies born addicted to crack. And I said, okay, I'll help you raise money for them, but I think we both know what they're going to spend it on. Thanks. I had done that on Conan.
It's so funny, really.
In the 90s. But this guy, and so, but I was so happy that like, somebody had heard it and knew and said,
it was such a compliment.
You can't just step all over everybody's shit. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, now I feel like with the apps, like the TikToks and stuff, like people are taking the voice and just like lip syncing to jokes.
Yep.
Oh, really?
And then they go viral with your joke, with your voice.
Yep. And your name isn't anywhere on that.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
But you're supposed to post more, and it's such a mind fuck now. With
Comedy Central on their TikTok posted my Comedy Central clip and didn't put my name on it.
What?
Anywhere near it. All the comments are like, who's the comedian? Who's the comedian? Who's the comedian?
Hello?
I have a message from him. I'm like, what shithead Gen Z fuckface is putting material out there for a comedy station without it? And then the person wrote back, you're right to call us out for this.
Yeah.
I was like, well, okay, but where's the...
Well, can you fix it?
Can you fix it?
On
No,
it.
yeah.
Oh, God. Did they?
No. The purveyors of comedy didn't put my name on my own comedy bit.
So dumb.
But I don't know. Yeah, I can't say, because...
I was talking about this yesterday, like, I feel so tired. I feel like I'm doing a lot, but then at the same time, it's like, but you got to be doing more. You got to post more. And you got to be an influencer. I'm like, I don't want to be an influencer.
No.
I just want to do comedy.
I want to be an influencer.
Well, where did we Daniel and I were calling ourselves the Under the Influencers.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
like
us.
that.
Though, I think a lot of it is like what I've realized, like, because I've kind of been through both not having to plug yourself or having other people plug you to now, like, it is like constant, you have to advertise yourself.
And there's so many people.
I know that I'm so bad at that.
Yeah.
And then
I don't mean to agree with you, but I am also bad at that.
No, yeah. I'm so bad at that. I'm like, I just want to perform. And
I don't care. And I think that's the generation gap, is that I'm too old to I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter to me. So it's like, I just want to perform live.
Yeah.
And whatever comes from that is good for me. But like, I post reels and lose followers. That's my favorite thing.
No.
Yes.
And yours are great. You make
every time I post a live comedy clip, I lose.
Minus 100. I'm like, oh, damn.
It's so offensive.
But I'm being told that I need to post more. And the algorithm. I'm like,
all of it. I can't stand it. But it makes me, I remember when it was just agony to like hang a poster in a coffee shop.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, y'all want me to drive somewhere and tack something to a wall? Good fucking luck.
You got a flyer. Yeah, I used to flyer. Yeah. Or try to get on the radio. To promote. Or the news.
Yeah.
Oh, do you guys still do the morning radio?
When I do clubs sometimes.
When I was a musician, there was a show you could get on, John Ailey. Do you know John Ailey down in Austin?
No.
He was this legendary, like the most banal, annoying DJ. He had a TV show on KUT. It was so boring, but everybody loved him. It was the weirdest thing. But he'd be like, yellow. Lots of things are yellow. Here's a song about yellow. You'd be like, fuck it, I'm in traffic, John Ailey. Fuck you.
Oh man.
But he had a lot of listeners, and I got to play piano, and I was a guest a few times on his show.
Wow.
But I'll never forget one time it was live, right? And it's just me, old man John Ailey, and then his engineer. And he goes, he's in radio gear, right? He's in sweatpants and like a t-shirt, old man. And I'm seated at the grand piano. I can't wait. This is my big moment. And he goes, okay, ready whenever you are. And he put his hands behind his head and he spread his legs and he leaned back. And the biggest male camel toe you've ever seen. It was like each one of his testicles. It looked like Laura's fucking self-portrait. two giant testicles, like mid-thigh. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, that's all I could see. I'm like dead center. He goes, okay, start. I was like,
How old were you?
I mean, I was like 21, 22, 23, like,
God.
and I'm trying to be like a professional and like all this shit. It was the worst. I couldn't
Did you
believe
talk
it.
to HR?
No, because
I know.
I didn't know what my next move was, but I was like, is this the casting couch? Or is he's so old he doesn't know that his balls are at his knees.
That's so funny.
But yeah, I love doing radio. It was always so fun.
Oh God, I did not. I hated, like, it was always some college kid. It was an intern. he didn't have the key, he didn't have the right time, and we're standing outside a radio station at 6:30. I've not been to sleep at all. So you excited about? Have you seen any of the town? No, I've just seen you, and I'm waiting for this fucking thing to open. Like, and I'm already up too early. Yeah, exactly.
I do love that about touring, and I notice it more with like a theater tour than like a club tour. But club tour also, do you notice whenever, because especially if you're traveling like with Chelsea, where they want to advertise the town? Do they do that to you? Try to give you like a quick narration?
Sometimes they're like, but usually we just, I don't know. It's hard because you're doing a different city every night. You don't get to see the town. You know.
I love that though.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm like, sometimes if we have time, we'll go to a museum or something, but it's usually just dinner, show, go.
Are you kind of naturally an early riser because of you were teaching kids and you used to get up early, or?
I mean, I've lost it. I mean, even when I was a teacher, I wasn't a good early riser. I was always late too.
Boy, you guys just paused there like I was going to step in something. Because your heritage, you have to. You have to do a lot of field work. You have to garden for other people. Your family probably had to,
It's Hispanic Heritage Month, so thank you for having me on.
But the pauses on both of your faces. You're Mexican, so you probably are used to getting up early. Is that right? Man, that was a freeze out.
There's a button under the table that signals to Garrett, Laura's being racist again, Garrett.
I almost went through the window on that one. I completely meant that a lot of teachers, I really did mean teacher, but also a lot of comics say they can't do it because they like to get up at 9 or 10 or even like any normal hour. Then they have to, then they're crashing at 6. But I've always fought getting up early. Always. I hated going to school early. I would really almost like get into a physical fight with my mother when she tried to get me out of bed. And I'd pretend it was a dream, say, what? And then, hit her in the chin.
Wait a second. What? You said you were dreaming the other day when you slapped me across the face.
Oh, I did?
Mm-hmm. You don't remember that? I'm on walking sleep again. I said, Laura.
Oh, you're right. Fuck. That's right. Now I give it away. But no, but I just I feel like there isn't any other profession that I could be creative in and be coming alive at night.
Well, the new generation of everyone's so sensitive to everything is awakened to the idea that kids can't learn at that hour.
I love that. I think that's right.
Right? It's like, well, you're forcing some kid out of bed. You're shoving him into some weird high anxiety environment. And then it's like, focus on something boring you don't give a shit about.
And have lunch at 10 a.m. And I'm like, lunch?
And lunch was Dunkin' Six and Mountain Dew. Let's be real. That's what my fucking lunch was. I had a teacher, it was always the first period, but it would switch, right? Because we were on trimesters, right? And so the first year, it was this math teacher whose eyebrows were just like wax. I don't even know. There was no hair. It was just like marker. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
Just these weird things. And so that's all I could stare at. It was like I couldn't get fractions or anything. I was just staring at because they were fresh, right? It was the beginning of the day.
Oh, man.
And then later that year, I had her for the last period. And by then, they were just these weird, blurry shapes on her face. Her eyelids.
My God.
And then another time, it was the first period, right? And you're just so tired, and you can't even focus. And it was the first day of class. Our English teacher's name, her last name was Bobo. B-O-B-O.
No.
Miss Bobo.
No.
And she has to walk us through her name because obviously every kid has tried to like tear her to shreds. So she starts by telling us her full name is Gay Bobo.
No. God almighty.
Her name is Gay Bobo.
No.
G-A-Y-B-O-B-O. And the reason she's named Gay is because her parents named her after the Enola Gay, which is the plane that dropped the bomb on Japan. Try not laughing at 8:15 a.m.
Just say at that point I'd be like, my parents named me that because they don't love me.
My parents don't hate me. Her name is Gay Bobo.
And she's not a comedian?
No, she was the worst teacher ever. She's so mean.
That would have been good.
She made us read out loud. Do you remember when you had to like popcorn read? You know,
Read out loud?
You read out loud and then you'd be reading and then she'd go, popcorn, Laura. and you have to pick up to make sure everybody's paying attention.
We never had that.
Yeah, and so everyone has the book open, and then Popcorn Vanessa, but it was Puddinhead Wilson. It's a marked. Do you know that book?
No.
It has the N word every other word.
No.
So we were popcorn N-wording.
No.
Yes.
Horrible.
All white kids.
Yeah. Well, no, one black kid.
Oh no.
Lil Williams.
Oh God.
I know, but that was gay Bobo.
I feel like the teachers in Texas, the ones I experienced, like I never had like a Michelle Pfeiffer situation,
No.
or I never had like a stand and deliver.
No,
none of them cared.
No.
My older brother.
Oh, I thought you meant beautiful.
Well, that too.
Also
think
that,
of
They
yeah.
never
anybody.
look like that either.
I might have gone a different way if I had a beautiful teacher like that.
Nah.
My older brother would get the paddle at school.
Yes.
Did you get the paddle?
We had it. I didn't get it, but I can name names who got paddled.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. It would hang on the
But
wall.
then they stopped doing that in Texas.
Yeah. But they stopped doing it in the 90s.
Oh,
right?
Okay. Yeah, I guess.
And it went straight to the gay bars.
That paddle made me gay. Yeah, it would hang on the wall in Miss George's room.
Yeah.
And it was one of those, I think I talked about this. You had accordion doors, right? So so on rainy days when you couldn't go outside for recess, they'd open the accordion doors and merge the two classrooms. and you'd
right.
play like Heads Up 7 Up or something like that. But Miss George was the other teacher. So when they'd open the doors, that's when our classroom would see the paddle. And there would be a murmur. There'd be a, oh my God.
Oh no.
Yeah, because we'd heard legends. She's a mean lady,
Imagine
too.
they were spanking kids still in school.
I know. Now you just hang a gun on the wall.
Oh man. Oh my God. Can you imagine?
For
Yeah.
safety.
Those are the days, right? Can you imagine? So wait, what are you working on these days? You're touring.
I'm touring with Chelsea till the end of the year. I'll be headline. When does this come out?
Next week.
Oh, okay.
We'll make sure it comes out during Hispanic Heritage Month.
It better.
What is it? Latin American Month? Hispanic Heritage?
Hispanic Heritage. Do you know?
Racist, sorry.
Well, it is September 15th to October 15th.
Y'all
so
don't-
it's like
We missed it, basically.
mid-month. Yeah. We don't get a whole month.
No wonder my lawn hasn't been mowed.
They really jammed us in the
Right.
month.
I cannot believe they didn't even give you a whole month.
No, and it starts on September 15th because that's when Coco came out, the movie.
Shut up.
Oh my God.
No way.
But yeah, I'd appreciate it if it
Okay.
came out there.
Yeah, okay.
Watch Selena, watch something.
Yes.
You know, it's funny. All my friends because I'm from the border, you know, so it's pretty much Mexico where I grew up. But all of my friends that had Spanish class, like in North Texas, they were like, oh, we watched Selena.
I did too.
In Spanish class.
100%.
Selena is in English.
Yes.
Wow.
100%.
I
The
would think
movie
that too.
No.
is in English.
Our Spanish teacher, Glenda Hamilton,
Yeah.
a white lady,
Yeah.
she showed us what Mi Familia,
Oh, yeah.
which is also in English.
Also in English.
But she showed us Selena twice. Once on like a test taking day, once we finished our exams and things like that. But
it's
she,
so funny to me
Yeah.
that people show that in Spanish class.
as if it has anything to do with it.
No.
The only Spanish words are pusalo on reverse.
Yeah, muy excited.
That's when, yeah.
what she-
Oh, I remember we were taking class, and my friend and I were like, thought we were so fucking good. Dar me drugas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dar me drugas.
Mike
Did
sings.
you get them?
Well, we did. We tried. How do you? How? I think we've said it wrong too. Dar me drugas.
She taught me. She was another teacher that I had a good friendship with because she taught me three things, or she told me one thing. She goes, "Now I know I'm never supposed to tell a student this, but Daniel, you really fail with grace." She
Oh, that's so
She
sweet.
says, "I tell kids they fail a test, they lose their minds. I tell you, you fail a
I
test,
love that.
you just smile."
I was on the road with Chelsea, and we were in North Carolina, and one of the flight attendants, as we were boarding the plane, he was like, "I know you." He was freaking out that she was on the plane, and he was like, "Oh, I know you. You're from her videos." And I was like, "Yeah,
Amazing.
I'm with her." And then we're like doing the flight, and he sits behind me like as we're gonna land, and he was like, "You're the housekeeper, right?"
Oh my God! Shut the
Yes.
fuck up.
And I was like, "No, no, I
almighty.
opened for her."
Oh my God!
Yeah.
You're like, this is the last time I bring a feather duster as a carry-on.
Oh my God.
That's like I happen to have all my cleaning products.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Bottle of Lysol falls out of your bag.
Yeah. But I'm gonna do a video to clarify that I'm Vanessa.
You really need to.
Yes.
Oh my God.
That's hysterical.
That's so stupid.
But also, if you're the housekeeper, shouldn't you be at home?
That's what I'm saying. And it was another person of color, and I was like, "Come on, it is Hispanic Heritage Month."
Fuck.
Just keep saying that.
We had exchange students, or my friend did. They were French, and she spoke zero English. It was her and her boyfriend, which I thought was so scandalous that they both got to travel. Right?
I know.
Zero English. She was so cute, little French girl. And the only thing, my friend Michelle, who was Ecuadorian, she thought it was so cute that with her French accent, she couldn't say my car. She stayed for 6 weeks, right? So, but she's at ma car with her French accent. She couldn't wrap her tongue around it.
Yeah.
But by the 6 weeks, she was so over it because we'd be underage drinking and be like, say it. And she'd just be like, ma car. So angry. This is so much fun.
I know.
I'm so glad
Does
you
it
came
have
to
to
visit
end?
us.
We do have
know.
to, Vanessa. So what we should know what your shows are coming up. Where you?
Where can people
give
find
some
you?
dates and all that stuff on your tour?
Okay. Well, I'm gonna be headlining the Comedy Store Belly Room October 17th.
Yes.
That might with Daniel will be there.
Yay!
And then I'm on tour with Chelsea the rest of the year, and then I have some fun stuff coming up that I can't say yet.
Yay.
But you can follow me at Vanessa G Comedy on Instagram.
Great.
And VanessaComedy.com.
Yay.
And my podcast, I'm Not Busy.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I love that. What a great title.
With Michael Folk,
With
who's
Michael
a great
Folk. My
comedian, performer,
bestie.
writer. Yeah, it's
love
I'm Not Busy.
that.
We love Michael.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But we love you.
Yeah, thank you so much. This was so
Come out and see you on
fun.
the 17th.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.